everybody. Welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and I am your host, Xavia Fox. We've been doing this for a minute now, and today we are going to focus on fitness. Now, I have to say I'm a little saddened today because we had to bid Dre a wonderful farewell, as after her segment you guys just really loved her, and she's busy beyond belief. So, we lost her. However, we have a new co-host for our fitness segment, our serious fitness segment. We know we have Iris for fun fitness, but this person, this co-host, is going to get us all ready and healthy on the inside out so that Iris can show us how to have some fun once we got this new fit body going on. So, as you can see, I'm here at the gym and I'm working out really hard. Let me see if I remember how to do any of this stuff. It's been a minute. We all need to do our triceps, right? Oh, Lord. Okay, that's enough. We're in the 7.5 pound weight. Should I pick up something heavier? No, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, so now I would like to introduce you to our new co-host. This segment will now be called Simple and Good Fitness. And Mr. Sherwood Grant is going to help us get fit from the inside out with a holistic approach to health and fitness. So welcome to the team.
Well, thank you.
All right. Well, Sherwood, tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you got to this place in life and what made you interested in health and fitness.
Well, I've been involved with health and fitness for a little over a decade now. Way back in 1999, I actually entered a contest. It's probably still going on now, Body for Life. It was a 12-week transformation contest. And at that time, you know, I was a person that frequented the gyms and just recreationally. And it was one particular incident that was kind of humorous, that a buddy and his girlfriend, and we were at this mall, and we were talking about, you know, who was in better shape, this, that, and the other. And at that time, one of the sales clerks was saying, "Oh, okay, well," referring to me, that, "Okay, yes, your chest is bigger than my friends, but your belly is too." I was like, "Oh, wait a minute.
Wow, okay.
I need to take a look in the mirror here and address, you know, some issues, because I'm at the gym all the time. I play basketball all the time, so pretty athletic." And when I looked at my Men's Health magazine, I was like, "But why am I not looking like the guys on the magazine?" So at that time, that particular contest was advertised in the magazine, and I was like, "Hey, you know, it's a win-win situation for me to get involved with a program, you know, to be able to achieve that look." And from there, you know, I got very much inspired to be able to help other people to be able to make a transition. I received quite a significant change, even for myself to say, in that 12-week period. You know, I was very proud of myself at that time, and I figured if I can do it, anybody can. I had my bad habits. You know, I was in corporate America, and man, Edmonds used to be, I used to have a punch card.
Oh, wow.
I used to have to get those, because I was in the field all the time, traveled from clients to clients, and you know, you grab something to eat. It was like Louisiana crunch cakes was my favorite cake.
Oh, wow.
Give me a dozen donuts, a chocolate cake, get my punch card up, you know, have it on the seat of the car, and it would be done. You know,
wow.
So
you were eating up some
yeah, the sweets were definitely a habit of mine, you know. But then I had that balance. Yeah, I had that balance, though. I felt I had that balance because I exercised and then I ate. So, but once I did this 12-week contest, you know, it really opened my eyes as to ways to be able to approach health and then be able to help other people, you know. So, got certified, you know, constantly sought to educate myself, you know, got involved with a good friend of mine, John Hall, and, you know, he became a mentor. I had a couple other mentors prior to, some very good guys who were very knowledgeable, and, you know, so I was aggressively seeking that knowledge all the time. And to fast forward to this day and age, to this time period, the present time period, you know, I've trained hundreds of people, and I found that there were some significant things that were missing. you know, and I wanted to address them in order to be able to get everyone on the same level when it comes to health and fitness. So there's quite a few things that I put in place, you know, to be able to address the issue. One of the reasons why we're here now today, you know, so with Simple and Good Fitness, what I want to achieve is to bridge that gap between health and fitness, because a lot of times it's looked at separately. You know, health is one aspect and fitness is another aspect, and you know, you might see, you know, on the health side, you know, the raw foodists, the vegans, the vegetarians, but then they're not fit. And then on the fitness side, you know, you see the athletes, you see, you know, a lot of different types of athletes, but they're generally not healthy. You know, so their lifespan in their sports, or their lifespan period, sometimes end a lot earlier than it should. So there was like a big gap separating the two, and I was like, it shouldn't be that way. You know, so one of my biggest achievements is going to be able to bridge that gap and show that both of them should be hand in hand.
I agree.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I put in order, and that's one of the things I want to talk about today, because when you're starting your program, or you're starting a routine, whether you're doing it with a professional or you're doing it on your own, there are some things that you need to really keep in front of you. You know, some things that you really need to outline to be able to achieve this.
And what are some of the things that you feel we need to outline in order to achieve this?
Well, first of all,
let's get into the good stuff.
Right. First of all, when we talk about health, I'm not sure what you probably consider when you say health and fitness, but when I think about health, I think about how healthy a person is, whether or not they're sickly, whether or not have some sort of disease or disease, whether or not they have the vitality and longevity that they don't need drugs, or they're not on medication. Right. And then there's some things that are functioning properly. You know, the organs are functioning properly, breathing. You know, those are the things that are challenging health. When I talk about fitness, what we're looking like the action. What can you do? Can you run a block and not feel like you're about to pass out? Can you climb a flight of stairs and not feel like you just ran a mile? You know, can you
do stairs in 6-inch heels?
Right. You know, and that's maybe a measurement of fitness, you know, for a lot of people. So then there's a difference. There's a difference between the two. So, but they correlate with one another, and it really starts from the inside out. So that's one of the main things that I want to start talking about. So, but there's 3 elements that I actually made my little notation. So you're going to see me kind of glance over to them. There's 3 steps that I think that everyone should definitely look at when you start this program. They first need to identify, rectify, and then therefore apply.
And what are we identifying?
Well, one of the first things I think you want to identify is your present health status. Where you at presently. You need to really be honest with yourself. To be able to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to the doctor and I'm on medication. I'm too young to be on medication. I'm too old to be on medication. Whether or not I have some sort of disease. You know, there's you got diabetes, you got cancer, ladies with fibroids, guys with prostate. People have digestive issues. People have bowel movements issues. You know, there could be just body odor issues. There's just a ton of things.
Now, just for the record, I know this information, but can you tell everyone how many bowel movements should you be having daily, weekly, etc.?
Well, I think that it really determined by how often you eat. So each time you eat, you should be having your cells only do really 2 things consistently. That's take in nutrition and eliminate waste. So each and every time you put in nutrition to your body, your cells' main goal is to absorb that nutrition and then to eliminate the waste that it doesn't need. So if you're eating 3 times a day, you should be having 3 bowel movements a day. If you're eating 6 times a day, then therefore your bowel movements should increase. But definitely, because I ask this question a lot of times to my clients, say, hey, how often do you have bowel movements? And I hear they say, well, I'm pretty regular. And I know that's relative because then I ask, well, what is regular to you? And then I get this, well, at least, once a day. And I say, well, if you say at least once a day, that means you're not going at least once a day. So you get a lot of people that, and they're even told sometimes in the medical industry that it's okay to go a day or two without having a bowel movement. Right. So now a lot of people are finally understanding that. Hey, I remember I think I was somewhere and listening to the radio, and this lady was this teenager went to college, and she said she didn't know that you were supposed to go to the bathroom that often until she had a roommate that went all the time. And she looking at this roommate like, what's wrong with you? People, and that was when she first got abreast to knowing that you have to have frequent bowel movements. And that's very important because you do the numbers. If you have a person that goes 1 time a day, that's 7 times a week. If you have a person that goes 3 times a day, that's 21. If you start doing the numbers after a year, after a lifetime, after a decade, or 60, 70 years, that's a big difference that can take place between bowel movements. And
there's the difference in the toxins being stored in your body.
Most definitely. So you need to identify. So that's another part of the physical status or the health status. And then you also need to identify the physical status. As far as your weight, what kind of movements are you inhibited? Whether or not there are some injuries. You need to be able to take body fat measurements. That's really important because I know a lot of people sometimes focus on BMI, and that's not really all that important, at least not to me as a professional. I'm concerned about your body fat and your lean mass, because a person 200 pounds, 40% body fat, and the same person can be 200 pounds, same height, same weight, and 20% body fat. We talk about 2 totally different looking people.
That's very true.
Totally different. So body fat, a lot of people get focused on weight, and weight is not the issue.
That's right.
It's about your body fat.
Exactly.
So you should always get that measured first and foremost when starting the program. So that's part of identifying.
I used to talk about that when I trained. I was 147. I'm 5'5", and I was 147 pounds, but I was only 12% body fat because I wanted to compete. And so I wore a size 3. But when you say 147 pounds, you don't think of putting that in a size 3.
Of course.
That sounds like a big girl, But, I was all muscle. Okay.
Yeah, so that's very important. Then lifestyle. You must identify your lifestyle. Whether or not you're a person that's constantly on the move, whether or not you're a person that think that they don't have time to be able to take time for themselves, whether you're a mother or a parent or a father, or a business person, you need to kind of identify your lifestyle in order to be able to factor in what changes you need to make in order to, reach a goal. Then you have the transitions in life. This is very important because this can affect a person's emotional well-being, whether or not you may end in a bad relationship or you started a new relationship. That affects your health, emotionally and physically.
Oh, definitely, especially the ending of a relationship.
But even starting a new one, you find yourself going out all the time.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And so now, it's like, hey, let's go eating,
not working out
exactly.
You're taking that time.
Exactly. So that transitions in life, whether you get a new job or whether the job has you at a different time schedule, whether you have a newborn kid or you have a child in school, these are different transitions can also
You are very right about that, because you know what, since I've been doing this show, all the editing that I have to do, it doesn't really allow me to get it. I like to run, and I like to run outside, but I'm so busy trying to edit the show until I don't necessarily get my cardio, my running in. So that's very true.
Yeah. So
lifestyle transitions, that does definitely affect you.
And then you have to think about the hurdles that inhibit you from reaching your goals.
Foxy, I see you.
This girl, this Fox, thinks she gonna eat our loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gonna smash it. With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X.